All right, really quick. So I was on the internet the other day, and some guy I never heard of, Chef Buck. He had a video up that said bean gravy, and I thought, oh, that's cool. Let me see. My first thought was, oh, I can make a bean soup back home or anywhere maybe, but navy bean soup, white bean soup. A lot of times they're broths with beans and other stuff in them. Maybe like beans and pasta and stuff like that. Once in a while, you might catch like a creamy bean soup or something. So I clicked on it. Let me show you what he's got. I'll read it just in case you can't see it. He says white beans. He had canola beans, flour. That's a tablespoon. Rosemary, salt, pepper, oil, olive oil, 1 teaspoon. Then he took some onion and garlic. He sautéed it. Fennel seed, paprika, 1 teaspoon. I put in fresh basil. So I had pinto beans. Everything else was either a dark bean like a kidney or a black bean. So I used the pinto bean because I know what they taste like, and I figured, hey, that would make a really good gravy. So I used pinto, and I didn't have rosemary, so I used thyme and margarine mix. And what else? Let's see. I didn't use the fennel seed, and I had fresh basil, so I did that too. So I only wanted 1 can just to try it out, just to see what it was. So I had this. I use a can because it can be recycled. The bag couldn't be recycled if you buy beans. You can't recycle those bags that the beans come in, so that's why I use that. All you do, my thing is getting cleaned, throw it all in a blender. You blend it up to the consistency you want, and then you have gravy. I added fresh onion on top of it as well, not just in the mixture, and blending it up. And I got to get the package of hot dogs. I didn't want to buy these, but I got an email from my mom this morning and said, don't send us any vegan food or anything. We don't eat it. Meanwhile, it's like, wait a second. I thought my dad liked this soup and that and this and that and whatever. Anyway, most vegan stuff people eat and they don't even realize it. So I bought these vegan hot dogs because I wanted my mom and dad and my sister and everybody to see them, even though the bag can't be recycled. So I got to get them out anyway to show you guys. And what I did is I basically made a bangers and mash. Some mashed potatoes, and then I threw that gravy. I boiled the hot dogs, then cut them up, put them in the gravy, and threw the gravy over there. So it shouldn't be too hot. Let's see. You know how I loved gravy growing up, right, Mom? My mom made just enough gravy for me to eat, nobody else to eat in the family. Oh, good. Really good gravy. And I made it spicy for like a brown gravy would be. Like maybe if you'd have it over, I don't know, maybe chicken or a roast or something like that when I used to eat meat. So I made it spicy like that. But for a soup, you could probably add something different depending on the flavor you want. And, cut down a little bit on the spices and let the bean carry the flavor for the soup and make it a creamy soup. And the greatest thing about this gravy is, I don't want to make it too long of a video. Now, normal gravy, I don't know, the lowest conscious person would make gravy out of a packet and throw it in with water and make gravy. The next level person would probably take everything on here except the bean and mix it in a glass or something, and then throw it over the stove on top of sautéed, spices and onions and garlic, and then whip up their own gravy like that. It all depends. So that's how you make gravy. Some people might add vegetable broth. Like this guy added vegetable broth. I didn't even add it because I knew I wouldn't need it. It's a waste to buy, and it's a waste you can make it yourself, and you don't even need it. So the next level is make some gravy that's really good for you. Like make it out of something cool. So beans is a really great idea because the beans have a ton of protein, a ton of carbs, a good amount of fiber, and they even have a decent amount of calcium and potassium. So instead of just having your basic oil, flour, or some kind of fat, and then the seasonings, you got an actual base made out of something really good. You know what I mean? And these are organic and non-GMO on top of that. So that's a really good idea. I can see how white beans would go good. I would even imagine a black bean gravy could go good. But these pinto beans, I used them also not only because I just didn't have any white beans, but it gives you the brown gravy look as it is, you know what I mean? Where he used the canola beans, it was more like a light beige. So if you want to even have the look of a ground gravy and the taste, you use these. Let me get those hot dogs really quick. All right, so Amy, John, Chelsea, maybe Mason. I know Mom said Chelsea doesn't want to eat now vegan food and anything else. Hopefully one day the whole world will be a little bit more conscious, a little bit more compassionate, and go this route. So these taste exactly like a hot dog. I don't know. I don't know what I used to eat back then. Maybe like a ballpark or something like that. What do they look like before they're in gravy? Like a hot dog. So the kid might eat it. Teach the kids early, and then we'll have a better life, a better world. All right? And again, they're not recyclable. You could probably make your own. It's not something I eat all the time, a hot dog. So I don't really even want to go out and try to make my own. I was going to do it out of jackfruit and I think beans, and it just didn't quite get there. Taste was all right, but the consistency wasn't. And I said, you know what? I don't need that. So anyway, there it is. A nice gravy, nice meal. Lots of love to you. Bye-bye.